we're now recording. We got to make sure we document Bria's hairstyle for today.
My mermaid blue. It's a mermaid blue.
Okay.
You say you're going to document her
hairdo every
hairstyle.
day, no matter what.
We'll start with this. I know if I already asked you guys to get on Zoom, and it looked like there was difficulty doing that. I'm going to mirror my phone screen in a minute so I can show you how to fill out the application. Don't try to fill the application out and be on this meeting at the same time. Just let Katara talk you through it, and then you can easily do this when we all hang up, okay?
Okay.
All right. Hey, Katara, can you just give them a brief explanation of like what happens, like what's the process? They fill the application out, and then like what are some of their steps on this?
Yeah, so hello, everybody.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey.
Good, I'm excited. I don't get to talk to too many people face-to-face nowadays, so this is actually cool to see some faces. So the application, you'll hear it referred to as what's called a 1003. That's just mortgage lingo for an application, but it's called a 1003, okay? And so like with any mortgage process, we're trying to gather about really 2 years worth of information in order to make a 30-year decision, okay? When I say 2 years worth of information, we're interested in 2 years of residential history, no matter where it is, and 2 years worth of employment history, no matter where it is, but just the most recent 2 years, okay? And so a lot of times for me, depending on what that application looks like, can kind of tell me which direction the process is probably going to go. So if we've got, good time in the residence and we've got good time on the job, then it kind of helps me get a feel for the idea that, hey, we might have something to work with, okay? Sounds, and keep in mind, I haven't said anything about credit or anything about money. Those two things point to stability, okay? So anyway, so that's kind of what we're trying to gather. One question on here that always throws people off is, how many years of school did you have? Okay, they're asking, they give you 12 years of school for completing high school. Okay, if you haven't completed high school or if you did something different, don't be afraid to put that in there. It doesn't matter. They're not really judging you on it. It's just a question. Okay. It's important to put down the number of dependents that you have too, because some first-time homebuyers programs work on how big the family size is, okay? And so knowing how many people in the household can help, okay? Anybody got any questions so far?
No.
No, I don't.
No?
Well, about the having somebody else on your for the house.
Yeah,
now,
if you living with relatives?
Yeah,
No problem. No problem. Put that down. Just say you live with relatives.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, Shamel, was your question about a co-signer? Like if you wanted somebody to join in with him?
No, like say if I don't have somebody living with me, but I want an extra room.
Oh yeah, no, that's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, you can buy. The reason I said, Shamel, the reason I said about family size is because, for instance, there's one program where if you've only got 2 people in the household, you can make up to $85,000 a year, and if you've got 3 people or more, you can make up to $113,000 a year and still qualify for the program. So that's all. Okay. Yeah. So what other questions do you have? Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Now, here's the other thing, too. There's a part of this section of the application that asks you about assets, okay? All I'm trying to do is figure out where you do your banking. And if you don't do your banking anywhere and you use one of those cards, then that's okay. What I want you to put down is how much your direct deposit is. When you get your paycheck, I want you to put down how much your direct deposit is, okay?
Okay.
Okay? But what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to worry about being able to fill out all this information, because most times you're not going to fill out the whole application. There's sections of it that you will fill out, but then there's sections that you won't have anything to put in there, and that's okay. Not everybody does, believe me. Okay? So don't beat yourself up about it. Don't even think about it. Just move on to the next section.
And
Okay.
Tara, just so no one's scared, I know that this is going to lead to a credit inquiry. That won't hurt their credit score, or if it does, it's very, very marginal. Is this right?
Correct. It's going to be a pull on the credit.
Yeah, I was
like
gonna say.
said,
I knew you were going to say that.
I already, you know, I was coming, Zach. I was finna say that. Like, I ain't a professional, but I know a little bit.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna bring my score down if I don't.
Well,
it's gonna be a hard inquiry. I already
right.
know.
It'll be a hard inquiry. And is it Tammy?
No, that's Carrie.
Carrie. Okay, Carrie. I'm sorry. Carrie, it'll be a hard inquiry. You're correct. But it doesn't necessarily have to bring your score down. It just depends on how many inquiries you've already had. Okay.
Okay.
So it's not automatic. And the one thing I will tell you too, they finally realized that people shop for big ticket items. So if you're buying a car or if you're buying a house, then if you have your credit pull within more than once within a 2-week period, it actually only shows up as like one pull, one inquiry.
Okay.
Yeah, we're okay there.
And just, I'm sorry, Qatar, go ahead, please.
No, and then the other thing is too, once you get done doing the application, we're gonna have some dialogue before we even pull credit. Okay? Because depending on what we talked about, we may pull credit immediately, or we may do a couple of steps before we pull credit. Okay?
Just to give context, a hard inquiry's worst effect on your credit score could be how many points? Like on average, I know it's hard to say, but
yeah, that's tough, Zach. I would say, well, here, let me say it this way.
Can I say my experience?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Let me hear your experience.
Okay, mine's with, like, when I've done it before, it's been like 5 to 7 points. It's nothing major, but it is like 5 to 7 points that come down, like bring it down.
Yeah, I was gonna say no, probably less than 10. I was gonna probably cap it at 10. So I agree with you, Carrie. That's about 5 to 7. But I'll tell you a story real quick. I had a guy that had his credit pulled 8 times. Okay, in a quarter. Okay, a quarter's, there's 4 quarters in a year. There's 3 months in a quarter. Okay, so he had his credit pulled 8 times in the 3rd quarter, and he had his credit pulled 8 times in the 4th quarter. I was surprised, but he still had a very strong credit score of 700 plus. So, and the reason I tell that story is because, I would have thought all those pulls would have impacted the score, wouldn't you, Carrie?
Yeah.
I would have thought that the score would have went down, exactly. And so what that tells me is that if you've got once we build a good score, then it can withstand some inquiries. Not that we're going to do a bunch, but building a strong score means that we can withstand some inquiries. Okay?
Right.
So that's what we want to do, is we want to build a strong score. So you can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
I agree. I would say dig into this, because this is going to reveal other things you have to work on. Even if it dings it by 7 points, the things that you can work on will bring it up by infinite points. Like, this is a lot of your big goal, to be able to qualify for this loan or be pre-qualified for the loan. So I think it's worth a 7-point hit if the worst case scenario happens. Not saying it will. To investigate in, to see what you need to do specifically to get on track for this.
See, the other thing that we'll find out is too, we may see only got a year and a half on the job, and so maybe we figure out it makes sense for us to stay, on the job another 6 months. That's part of the strategy, is to get up to 2 years. Maybe we've got 10 years in the residence, and so we're good there. Or maybe we want to work on the job a little more, or maybe we've been in the job longer and we want to work on the other piece. So the application can show us a lot of different things that we can work on in order to help our, to increase our chances for an approval. Okay. So those are things that we'll be talking about too. And we'll do those things individually so you guys can all have some privacy, to be able to share what you think and we can look at your personal information, okay, versus just talking in a group.
Okay.
That's fine. In the group though, bear with me. I want to share the screen of my phone. I've either texted or emailed each of you this pre-approval application. I want to show you how you can work with it on your phone. It's very, very possible, okay? I'm not going to fill out the whole application, but I'm going to give you a sense of how you can do this on your own. If you're struggling, you can definitely call me and we can figure it out. But I want to show everybody as a group how this is possible. You can open it straight out of a text or straight out of your email. So let me show this to everyone now.
Okay.
I'm going to share my phone screen. So again, just bear with me as I do this.
I like that color of the wall. That was pretty.
Okay. Hey, can everybody see my phone screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't mean to pick on anybody, but Tammy, I'll show a text where I sent you the application. Okay, this is a real thread. So Tammy, if you were to go back into your text history with me, you could touch on this application, and there it is. I know you have an iPhone. So within the application itself, all I would do is I'd make the app bigger. I could put in so Katara would be your loan officer. You can put his name in.
Everything all right?
And then,
Oh, that's ice on my phone.
It reminds me of the Progressive commercial.
so
He said, "Is everything all right?"
I would put in your first name like this. Okay. Hey, does everybody see the done button in the lower right-hand corner? Let's pretend you were done. Obviously, there's a more to the app. You would hit done, and then you would touch the screen again. There's the little square with the up arrow in the left-hand corner. You would touch that, and then you could email it to yourself or to Qatar directly, and all the changes are saved. Okay, I'm going to email this to me.
That's cool.
So, okay, I'm going to email this. When I go to my email, this should pop up in a second, and it will have the changes that I made to the app. Let it pop up. It's going to be a little slow since we're on live cam. Hopefully this comes through with me trying to stream it. But the changes I made just by putting in Qatar's name and Tammy's name should come through in a second. An example is, I sent one to myself earlier just in case this happened. But what happens is, this is what I sent to myself earlier. These are all changes I made. I had Qatar's name in the line. I put in my basic contact information. That was all saved. I did this all on my phone, no computer. I did the changes that I wanted to do. And then I hit done. And then I touched the screen and I hit my little up arrow in the corner there, and I shared it via email. And when I emailed that copy of it, it had all the changes I made to the application. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know if you could do that.
Yeah. I'm going to show one really particular part of the application. And guess what? The thing that I did with Tammy's did come through. So it's here. If you don't believe me about the email actually saving, here's proof that it does. Well, now it's going to prove me wrong because it didn't save it for whatever reason. Okay. It worked before. I promise you. It worked before. But let me show you this. Okay, there's something actually pretty interesting about the app. I'm opening this again on my phone. there's something at the bottom here. It says, do you own, like, and I'm right here. Do you own, let me see if I can highlight it. Do you own any property? That part of it. You're probably thinking, oh, you can't do anything on a phone with this. Yes, you can. You touch the primary. Do you see this little wheel at the bottom? This changes it. You can say,
Okay.
you can go to ownership type, joint with other. I'm just pretending that this is the case, but you can manipulate the entire app on your mobile device. There's no need to use a computer. And I know I did all that work and it didn't save, and it looks like I'm wrong. I can promise you it did save before when I did this. But you can literally manipulate the entire app on a phone, okay?
Pretty good.
Okay.
All right. If you have any questions, I'm going to make sure all of you have Katara's email so you can email him. You can contact me. I could assist you with it. I'd love to have everybody. You guys are the first people in our program that I'm aware of that are filling out a pre-approval application. You all are getting closer than anyone that we're aware of in the program to doing this for real. Jamel, Kayri, Tammy, Maria, you're the first, the pioneers. So I want to make sure everybody has success with this, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Stop sharing my screen.
All right. Good job.
Yeah, so what we'll do, and this is recorded, guys. So if you're like, what was that step again? I'm recording this. I'll put it on YouTube in a second. I'll send it out to everybody with Katara's contact information. This is closer to being pre-approved to purchase a home. Does it guarantee you'll get pre-approved? No, but it moves you closer. Kayri, I know that you've been like one of the prototype people. You got the great job. Now we're going to add this in. Maria got the great job. We're going to add this in. Tammy's, working towards this. She's been hustling like crazy. I can't wait. She has notebook on top of notebook with everything that she spent.
Yes.
I know her.
Yeah, this is actually really cool. Yeah.
Hey, Tammy, girl, I didn't know that was you. I'm sorry, Zach, but I know her.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
Hey, Tammy girl, I don't know you, but I'm gonna say hello to you too. Hey,
Hi.
I've been knowing her since I was a kid. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good.
Tammy,
if you guys got any questions, you call me. Don't worry about the question. Just call me if you got a question, please. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, good. You're pioneers. This isn't the last time we need to meet. Fill this app out and then get with Katara individually. Do not stop putting pressure towards moving forward on this goal. I want to see someone in a house by the end of the year.
Okay.
All right.
I might even have a little something for the first person that gets me their application.
Oh.
Maybe we'll do that. What do you think about that, Zach? Maybe we need to sweeten the pot a little bit.
No, yeah.
Corona, man.
Exactly. But we need to show other people in our program it's possible. You know how many people just graduated? Their number one goal is to buy a house. You guys are way ahead of them. Some of you have, started a nice career, have a good startup business going. Keep pushing. You got to be competitive. Other people out there step over you to get this home loan. So don't allow yourself not to be competitive. Compete.
Exactly.
Okay.
Tenacity.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right, guys.
I'm very thankful. Thank y'all.
Shortly. Thank you all.
Okay.
All
See
right,
you guys.
bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.